Hello, nation, and welcome to another edition of DCU Tonight, the show where we talk about DC Comics, DC TV, DC Universe Online, and celebrate another week passed in the DC Universe each and every week live here on YouTube. The channel is VAR Nation, the show DCU Tonight. I'm your host, Rock VAR, coming at you solo here from the couch tonight, and talking about today's the special day. It's April Fools, so you have to question everything you hear for the entire day because you don't know where it's coming from. You don't know what's going to be a joke and what's going to be real. It could happen. I don't know. I don't really do April Fools jokes. What I am doing this April Fools is hanging out in Gotham, doing what I don't know what to call it, the DCUO April Fool's event. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the details of that here in just a moment. We also have a couple of DC TV shows to go through this week. We've got Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow. Going to be really light on those two episodes because if I'm being honest, they were kind of light episodes, except for something pretty mind-blowing that happened in Legends of Tomorrow. We'll go through the hashtag DCTV secrets for those two episodes, and we're probably just going to play some DCUO as we do it, because we have collections to find, and that is what's happening tonight in DC Universe Online. It looks like Dark Demon's behind me. I don't really know because I've got my HUD turned off. But I think that's him. So, special guest tonight, hanging out here with us on DCU Tonight. If you are catching us for the first time on YouTube, we're playing DC Universe Online. It's a free-to-play game. We do it, if you're new to the show, we like to do this show 3 times a week. Sometimes the schedule doesn't permit, and sometimes it permits us to do a little bit more, and we can do some live streams through the daytime hours, and sometimes in the wee hours of the night. I don't know if that's going to be the case today. Somebody's got the day shift tomorrow, and that somebody's me, and the day shift sucks. So, but what we've got happening, let me get back up here where you can see everything, is it's April Fools and DCUO. Earlier, if you had a chance to watch the stream, we were playing around with the new base item that you get for getting this collection. But we didn't quite know how to get it other than to purchase it on the marketplace. That has now been figured out thanks to a quick visit to the DC Universe Online forums, and a big thanks to a player there named Bear Drive, who posted some details. Apparently there are 5 briefings to collect. It does look like an exclamation point. It is purple. You're going to find them out here, and we're in Gotham, out by the Fun House. I'm going to show you kind of where these are located, but once someone collects it, it turns to confetti and disappears, so then you have to wait for it to respawn. And let me tell you, we're out by Joker's Funhouse in Gotham. Let me tell you, there have been a ton of people out here all day doing this. This is going to be going on throughout the week. But anyway, when you collect each one of these briefings, you're going to end up getting a base item. And that can be seen in a stream that we did just before this one. It was just called DCUO, The Adventures of Superboy, I think. And I was playing my Superboy tune, and you can see that, and I'll go and show it to you again at Light as Base. I'll try to before we end this show. But you're going to be getting 6 or 5 different briefings. Titanic Interrogation, Thick as Thieves, Sweat and Bullets, In Hot Water, and Bon Appetit. And you're going to find those out here just by going after these exclamations. So you'll find, let's see, Amusement Miles, where you need to go. Near or on the broken down roller coaster is one of them.
If you're gonna go go with a ha 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 ha.
So earlier today it was out here on the tracks. I think it was, might have been up high here. Yep. There were some folks hanging out near it. There's one right here. See? Now he's going to collect that. He's going to turn to confetti. Oosh. Now he's collected one of these briefings. So there's 5 of them. So basically you're just going to have to farm out here most of the week probably to find this. I'm going to try, and I don't know if I'll be able to do it tonight. I'm certainly going to give it a little bit of a shot. But I stood out here for quite a while earlier, and the only one I can find is that one. And there are a lot of people out here looking. So there's that one. Let's see, where's the other? The Ferris wheel. Let's go to the Ferris wheel and check that out. Let's see if I know what all these things are called without Lida to tell me. But it's a cool little surprise we got from DC Universe Online. I had no idea that they were doing this today. And,
if you're gonna go with a big kaboom. Ha 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 ha.
Actually, I'm gonna turn my HUD on. If you don't know how to do that, just go to your gameplay settings and should be here. Or no, UI, I'm sorry. Hide UI during gameplay. I'm going to turn it off. And there, everything's back up. It just makes it a little bit easier to see how many people are here. Look at all that yellow. On my mini map on the upper right hand side of the screen, every one of those that's a yellow dot, that's another player. So, but anyway, let's go over here to the Ferris wheel. It's probably going to end up being right here where everyone's standing around. So I would assume that's the locale for the next one. You can see it just looks like any other briefing, but it's purple. Let's see, where's the next one? On a couple watchtowers. I don't even know where watchtowers are. There it is. Somebody got to it before me again. I'm gonna try and get it. Oh, that person seemed to have been letting me. Thank you, Shadow119. I'm sorry if you were waiting for it.
Why don't you start by telling us what you know about, say, police station security codes?
I don't know anything. Only the, commissioner has access to those codes.
Now, no need for lies.
Proud of that guy for being
We're
cool.
all friends here. Thick as thieves. Isn't that right, Harley?
I don't know. I kind of want to kill him.
So, if you're playing DC Universe Online today, looking for something to do, this is exciting. And, well, I don't know about it's going to take a little while. Excitement, maybe not the word, but definitely interesting and fun. And then the base item that you're going to get is going to be super cool. And again, we will go to Lida's base. The only thing about it, though, I guess I should tell you, anyone can report this, I guess. It probably has been reported already. There's a bit of a glitch with it. And I'll tell you when I get there what that's all about. And this is a big spoiler alert, so if you don't want to know, don't come with me right now. I'm going to go to Lida's base and show you what the what you receive for completing that. I think it was Star Museum. I could be really wrong about that. We'll just have to base hop. But, so, you know, the big DC TV conversation that we had earlier in the week about Supergirl and The Flash, that was hard to top later in the week with the other two. You know, it was a little bit hard to top what happened in Supergirl. So I'm not too excited about, even though they were good episodes, I don't have a lot to talk about. Arrow was just kind of, for me, bland. I don't know what else to say about that. Not that it was bad in any way. Just that it was, you know, just kind of another episode, and I feel I'm in the wrong place. Alright. But it was good, and we do have there are some major DC TV secrets about Arrow this week. And so after I show you this base item, we'll get into that in more detail. Talk about it a little bit more, but I think tonight's show is mainly going to be streaming just a little bit. I'm alone, and where in the crap? Where does she keep? It's probably somewhere real that that makes sense, like the front room. Yes. Let's go. Could only be one of like 6 or 8, But I'm pretty sure it was. Well, try this one. Can only be one more. So what are you gonna do? There we go. Okay, so this is the base item that you get for completing the April Fools collection, and you can see when you approach it, it runs from you. You never can get it. You can get up to it. You can even go up and hold circle, but it still runs away. And it plays the womp womp music and laughs at you. How many times you can get that to happen? That's hilarious. So that is the base item that you get, and I think that we definitely, hats off to the devs for that. That's an awesome April Fool's joke we get here in DC Universe Online, which is again a free-to-play game, and as long as you have a base in the game, you can enjoy that base item, which is just for completing the collection that we were just working on. So I'm going to go back out there where we were because it was cool to see everyone looking for it in the background as we continue on with the DC TV portion of the show. DC Universe Online, definitely big news on the way, big things happening. We've got a new episode getting ready to launch, I'm guessing next week. That's normally how it goes. It's on PC test right now. We're going to get to go Bottled City of Kandor, do some really cool stuff. We've got a big game update coming that's going to make some pretty huge changes to the game, all of which we went into in great detail on previous shows. So if you've missed those, you can catch the recaps on YouTube. They're each and every time. We pop them. They're popped up on YouTube after the show, about an hour and a half after the show. Someday I'll get to the point. Someday I'll go and edit the most recent ones and put the little intro on them and theme music and whatnot. But for now, they're just there in raw form, so you can see it as it happened live here on VAR Nation. If you like the show, join us on VAR Nation each and every week. You can subscribe to the channel. And that will give you alerts when we go live. We're going to go down. To Amusement Mile. And you can always follow us on Twitter at @VAR_Nation. And we put up some stuff there about the show. If I see things from other community members in DC Universe Online that I like, I'll, put them out there as much as possible. Everything I like on YouTube gets posted on there. So if I'm watching a video from another YouTuber that has some helpful information, I'll like it to put it up on the Twitter feed. So it's a good place to get information. Kind of. It's a good place to get things that I think are information. So, there you go. I like having a little jingling stuff behind me as we talk about DC TV. Because this week's episode of DC Legends of Tomorrow was a fiasco. There were things happening in there that blew the mind. The mind has been blown, so to speak. Phrasing. But the mind has been blown. And if you do not want your mind blown, if you have not watched either Arrow or DC's Legends of Tomorrow this week, definitely don't pay attention to the next, say, 10 to 15 minutes of this show. I'm giving you a fair warning. We're talking about what's happening. Arrow, not so much. I mean, a lot happened, and I think that to go through it before I do the DC TV secrets would be just basically a crime, because I'm going to be talking about the same exact things twice, and I might as well just go through the secrets at the same time. TV, a lot. It's been the catalyst for most everything. I would argue the initial catalyst was Smallville. I would always say that, but my point being that Arrow has sparked pretty much a generation of DC television. I don't think if it weren't for Arrow's success that we would have Flash, potentially Supergirl. So for that reason, I'm still watching the show, because I feel like it's a good show, and I really love Stephen Amell's portrayal of Green Arrow. And Diggle has just become, something altogether his own. I love Diggle. I love the dynamic of the team. But just, now that we have Legends of Tomorrow, now that we have Flash, who's traveling through the multiverse and time itself, it just seems a little bit less interesting. We've got Damien Dark, who's obviously this, powerful sorcerer, but he doesn't have his power right now. I am very interested with where they're going in the backstory of what's happening with all the supernatural. But I don't know, outside of that, we're only getting, it seems like we're getting nibbles at a time on it, but we're not getting a lot of information fast. So I'm waiting for the big reveal episode that's going to go in, just going to blow the top off of that secret. Until then, I don't have a lot to be excited about, but I still watch because I love everything about the show, and I want to make sure it continues, and because it's just fun to watch. And sometimes it doesn't have to be a huge plot that's happening, Sometimes it's just nice to be in the feeling of the show. And I had that a lot with Smallville. There were a lot of episodes where you would look at it and say, are they necessary? Is this driving the plot of the show in some way? It doesn't really matter in some cases, because It's there. Even though that sounds dumb. Well, I think it's good because it was there. But I guess you get my point, I hope. And if you don't, then, you know, you have your own opinion. Oop, there's another one.
Step right up, kid.
This one's going to be mine. You are going to be dead. Oh, and I'm going to fall off of here trying to get to it. Nope, it was not mine. Damn it. Well, I'll beat up the bad guy anyway. Oop, I'm going to save this guy. No need for him to be up here. But before I go on a huge rant that makes no sense about, you know, episodes being necessary, let's just look at the hashtag DCTV secrets for the episode, and as we go through it, I'm sure topics will come up. This can always be found on DCComics.com, the hashtag DCTV secrets. It's a little bit different on how you find it now. It's not just right out there on the homepage. You have to go to news, and then for fans, and scroll down until you find the episode that you're looking for. So, whoa, there's Throne. Holy cow. I'm among famous people. That's pretty cool. Thank you for joining. I'm sure that's not your intention, really, but it is cool. And I will wave. So, well, we're really just going to get some DC Comics information on, there we go, on, this week's episode, kind of some nods to the comics. The first one is called Actually Not a Number Cruncher. So Curtis had his own suspicion about the identity of the man behind the Green Arrow mask. He thought it was Neil Adams in data processing at Palmer Tech. Of course, Neil Adams is a creator known for writing and illustrating iconic DC stories starring Batman, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, and many others. His most famous Emerald Archer series is probably the Green Lantern Green Arrow team-up comic he collaborated on with writer Dennis O'Neil. However, if you're looking for something to read right now, we suggest his brand new Superman miniseries, Superman: The Coming of the Supermen. So that's why they had that nod. Interesting. Another one titled Break It Down, Build It Up. Damien Dark leverages whatever advantages he can and used Monument Point to connect with Amar. The city arrived on the map in Justice Society of America number 44. It's near Washington, D.C., and was wrecked in that series by the villain Scythe. The JSA helped put the city back together and soon called the town its home. Jay Garrick even served as mayor. Mayor Jay Garrick. That'd be awesome. I think Jay would be an awesome mayor. Okay, so not a nickname sort of guy. Curtis is overwhelmed by everything about Team Arrow. His enthusiasm helped make up for him calling the lair the Arrow Cave and calling Oliver GA. Fans often use the GA nickname when discussing Green Arrow, and in the comics, Green Lantern occasionally uses the abbreviation for his pal. Yes, he does, and sometimes Green Lantern's called GL, so there we go. The hashtag DC TV secrets for this week's episode of Arrow, and I don't know what else to say really. You can see how interesting the episode was. The DC TV secrets were just kind of things we know. Whatever. DC's Legends of Tomorrow, however, this week was not quite so But then, you're going to catch me with this kind of bland attitude when Light is not here, because it's never, it's, I don't know. She's the excitable one. So anyway, this week's episode of DC's Legends of Tomorrow, once again, was an absolute joy to see Brandon Routh. I say that, I don't say that every time, but I do say that a lot of the time. Brandon Routh, week to week, is probably the major reason why I watch the show. I think they cast him. He was cast excellently, and I just love the guy. So he keeps everything going. He's the heart of the show for me. I could at this point, I really dig Hawkgirl. They did a really good job with her as well. The rest of the cast, I love them. They couldn't be played by anyone else, in my opinion, necessarily. But I don't know. Anytime Brandon Routh is in a show, he's the reason that I'm watching it. I just have to say that. It's always going to be the case. But that being said, here we have Brandon Routh, the three of them, Hawkgirl, Sarah, and Adam, all trapped together in the time period, left alone. As far as they know, their friends are gone. The last thing they know, Kronos was fighting against everyone. The ship left. They were left on their own. I think it's 1969. I don't know. Something along those lines. It's a long time ago. It's a long time ago. But they're trapped together. They don't know that anyone's coming back. And at first they hang out and they're thinking, it could be a quick thing. It's time travel, right? So once the team realizes that they've left them, they're probably going to come right back, pretty quickly and pick them back up. And all they really have to do is come back to the same exact time. Well, some time passes and no one comes back, and it takes a little while for them to realize that they're going to be stuck there, but they end up being stuck there for a total of 2 years. So in this time, Sarah has left. She's gone out on her own. They don't know it, but she's gone back to the League of Assassins, and pretty much that's the only place that she finds peace. She just can blindly follow Ra's al Ghul, and that's that. But in the meantime, Kendra and Ray have started this relationship with each other. If you're stuck in a confined place with Brandon Routh for very long, it's going to happen. But the heart-wrenching thing is that, and spoiler alert, if you don't want to know anything about it, don't pay attention to this next piece. Ray's about to ask her to marry. He's about to ask Kendra to marry him. He's about to propose. In fact, he's going for the ring when the rest of the team shows back up and picks him up. And so 2 years had passed to them, but to everyone else it was only a matter of minutes. And so now Ray basically is, he's still stuck pretty much in love with Kendra, and you can tell it. She's just relieved to be back, amongst their friends and stuff, and kind of forget about what's been happening. And it puts him in an odd place because he still would like to obviously have this relationship with her, but it doesn't seem that he's going to be able to now. And she makes a pretty quick flip back to normal, so it kind of makes me question whether she wants the same thing that he does or not. Kind of looks like she doesn't. Or it could just be, she knows that he's not the one. It'd be a little bit hard for her to be in a relationship with anyone else, knowing that her, her love, her inevitable destiny is to be with Hawkman. So why would she want to start a relationship with Ray, knowing that it's just going to tear him down? Other than the fact that she knows she's not going to meet up with Hawkman again in this life. But it's still weird, It would still feel like, yeah, I know that we're meant to be together, but not till the next life. So I'm going to go ahead and hook up with these random guys over here, or girls, whichever would be the case. I don't know that it would really go down like that. But then that's just me. I hear something. Where's that coming from? Oh, this is why I'm horrible at this. But it was there. So they make a good bit of noise. Crazy. Good bit of noise. Anyway, so back to the little debacle here with the relationship of the Hawks. I really don't know what the goal here is of setting up this kind of love triangle. I have a feeling Hawkman's going to end up coming back, and now we just get a broken-hearted Ray Palmer, which sucks. But Brandon Routh is great at conveying emotion, so maybe that's why. So he can turn on the waterworks and whatever. It could be. We don't know, but we do know that it was interesting seeing Sarah back with the League of Assassins. She's pretty darn good at her job. I'll just say that. And there's a little bit about that in the hashtag DCTV Secrets this week. So we'll get into a little bit about the daughter of the demon that they show, which everyone pretty much knows right off the bat. But there's some little bit more detailed information here than I caught in the episode. I don't know that I would have caught it in the episode. It must have been fast. We'll get to that here, well, pretty much now, other than the big twist in the episode. So if you haven't seen the last half of this week's episode of DC's Legends of Tomorrow, you probably do not want to listen to what I'm about to tell you. So they're in a big fight with Kronos aboard the Wave Rider.
Step right up, kid.
Captain Cold is fighting him, and in mid-fight, basically, Kronos takes off his helmet to reveal that he is, in fact, Heatwave. And I'm just going to stop talking for a second and let you digest the fact that Kronos has, in fact, and this is I'm assuming it's been the entire time. They don't really tell us whether it's been the entire time or not, but Kronos has, in fact, been Heatwave. I'm still really recovering from finding this out. I'm still kind of wrapping my head around what it means, or how possible it would be. How there haven't been time anomalies happening every time they meet each other. I don't really know. So the story that they tell, as he goes on to explain how this has happened, is that when Captain Cold left him alone on the planet, he was there for a long, long time. Because, believe it or not, when we're talking about time travel here, and this is where we get into talking about multiple realities and dimensions and, are these theories in any way true? They claim to be true. And if you don't know that, go look it up, because I can't explain all of that. But yes, it has been quote-unquote proven that there are multiple realities identical to the multiverse. In fact, every action leads to a different reality, because in every choice, actions could go multiple ways, and at every single action, there's a split, which creates an infinite number of realities. So based on that theory is what, where they talk about the where they came up with the idea for the multiverse and everything. But if you look at it that way, so he left Heatwave alone on this planet. They travel off in time. Well, okay, so even if he was to travel back to the exact time that that Cold had left Heatwave alone on the planet, even if he had gone away and sometime later come back to that exact time to pick him back up, which was what he claims his plan was to do, even if he did that, which he didn't or hadn't yet, that version of Heatwave that had lived on that planet in the meantime for however many years would still exist in some multiple in some version of these multiple realities. Well, so what's happened here is, once he was left alone on the planet, eventually the Time Lords came and picked him up, and at that point he had almost starved to death, and they took him to a place that's kind of outside the effects of time and trained him. And so then, after all of this training and everything, he assumes the identity of Kronos, travels through time to then go and hunt down Rip Hunter and the gang. And so this entire time, he's been that version of Rory. That's a mind bender. I'm sure when I go back and listen to that, I'm going to be like, dude, you did not explain that right. Because that is just a mind bender. Think about all the repercussions of that. So every time he's come in contact with the group as Kronos, he's been face to face with himself, with a version of himself. What would the ripple effect of that be? Just pop or something. It'd be like if you left, a baked potato in the microwave too long or something and it just popped. That's what their heads would do when they came in contact with each other. I don't know. I don't think people actually could ever know that until time travel and jump between dimensions becomes possible. And I don't know when that's going to become possible. Someone will have to ask Bill Gates that question. I don't know. Or ask your mom, because I'm sure she knows. So, to the hashtag DC TV secrets for this week, they don't really talk about that at all, but they do talk about your mom. They don't talk about your mom. They talk about Talia a little bit, because she showed up in the episode as a little girl. They do encounter a previous version of Ra's al Ghul, which is the original Ra's al Ghul from Arrow, and his daughter, his young daughter, Talia, because she was Raz's first daughter. Nyssa didn't come until later. And so they're far enough back in time that they're encountering a young Talia al Ghul, and we'll talk about that, but probably everyone on the planet knows at this point that Talia ends up hooking up with Bruce, and they create the young Damian Wayne. There's a book about it. It's a taut, sexy thriller. You can read it in comics. Get it from your local comic book store, which I don't know where that is, but there's like a comic book finder now. There's an app for that even. But the hashtag DC TV secrets for this week's episode of DC's Legends of Tomorrow, which aired Thursday night. Ray, Kendra, and Sarah leave Harmony Falls and settle into Hub City, which is a pretty nice town on the show. In the comics, and it's a very comic booky looking town that they live in on the show. In the comics, however, Hub City has most frequently appeared in The Question and may not be the place you'd want to hang out, or might not be a place you'd want to hang your hat at night. Yes, it's the home of Victor Sage, The Question, but it's also considered to be one of the most corrupt cities in the United States. It's pretty nasty. It's kind of like Gotham, I guess. The Daughter of the Demon is the title of the next secret here. We've met Nyssa al Ghul, but this is our first time encountering another of Ra's al Ghul's daughters, Talia al Ghul. Talia is the more widely known of Ra's al Ghul's daughters, and first made her debut in Detective Comics number 411. As heir to it all, she learned about her father's organizations, including more criminal aspects. Talia is sometimes an ally of heroes, but is most frequently an adversary, and has had a long-standing connection with Batman, which eventually led to the birth of their son, Damian. Talia played a key role in Grant Morrison's Batman comics, including Batman Incorporated, and can be seen in the final Christopher Nolan Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises. Currently, you can find Talia seeing to her son, in one form or another, in Robin, son of Batman. He's the son of the Bat. That's how I expect Damian to talk to. When he walks in as a little kid, he's like, I'm the son of Batman. My pacifier's on my utility belt. more dangerous than any guest book. This is what I was talking about earlier. I didn't catch this in the episode. So bravo. I'm thinking they told us just because we probably wouldn't figure out. Bravo to anyone who did see it. If you see something in an episode of DC television and you want to put it out there, go to Twitter and tweet it with the hashtag DCTVSecrets. This is pretty cool. Rip has access to the Shadow record. The list has the names of every member of the League of Assassins. The group has also been known as the League of Shadows and even Society of Shadows through the decades.
If you're gonna go with a big kaboom.
And it's called It's a Who's Who. I'm flying up to get the hell away from that guy's voice. He's like, I am an annoying robot. So anyway, as Gideon scrolls down the list of names in the Shadow record, comic book fans may recognize a few. There's Onyx Adams, a long-standing member of the League of Assassins who first appeared in Detective Comics number 546. Tigress belonged to the League when it was under the leadership of Nyssa. Fadir Nasser was a loyal servant of Ra's. He showed up in the first Azrael Death Dark Knight number 3. So that is a very detailed secret. They really put that in there, didn't they? I'm impressed. And those are the hashtag DCTV secrets for this week. Of course, they can be found on DCComics.com. The pull list has not changed. There is no pull list anymore, apparently. It's not even called the pull list. And I really like doing that. But right now they've just got Batman v Superman stuff up there. And I would suggest going and checking that out on DCComics.com. If you're a fan of Batman, or even if you just want to know about Batman v Superman, they do have kind of the bios on each of the characters from the movie up on DC Comics right now, or on DCComics.com right now. And of course, check out the DC All Access app. It's everything they say it is and more. If you don't play DC Universe Online, check it out. It's free to play. You can download it for free. Takes you day and a half, 2 days maybe to download, depending on the speed of your internet. But you can find that on the PlayStation Store or download it for free online for your PC at www.dcuniverseonline.com. You could normally visit us online at varnationdcuo.com. Our website is down right now for monetary maintenance, but hopefully we'll be back up sometime within the next 6 months. We'll see how that goes. You can help support the channel. We do have a way to do that on our YouTube channel now. If you'd like to help us get better equipment and make the show less blurry and sound less horrible, you can get your mom and dad to donate at VAR Nation on our YouTube channel. But the big thing that you can do to help us the most is share the video after it's up on YouTube. Like the video, comment in the comment section, share your hashtag DCTV secrets, and subscribe to VAR Nation. We have gotten an excellent response in the past few days. We've been doing some streaming, and we're up to like 155 subscribers now. My mind is blown. I'm super thrilled. I thank each and every one of you. And that's where I'm going to leave it. We'll be back next week, probably Wednesday night, with another DCU Tonight. So we'll talk about next week's Supergirl and Flash, and then again on Friday to talk about, and we'll talk about Gotham too. Some good stuff happening in Gotham to talk about next Wednesday. In the meantime, if you want to talk DC TV amongst yourselves, you can go to KryptonSite.com to talk Supergirl, or KSite TV for all of the rest of the wonderful DC Universe shows, movies, past television shows. It's a plethora of DC Universe at KSite TV. So thank you guys who joined there in the chat. I'm going to come back maybe later and stream, if not potentially tomorrow. The show is DC Universe Tonight. The channel is VAR Nation. And I'm your host, Rock Var, for Hippolyta Kent, saying peace out.